how exercises help you recover from a herniated disc, because all too often there is not this communication with you guys as patients about how what we're doing is helping your back get better. And I think if this conversation was had more frequently in either the surgeon's office, in your osteopath, your chiro, your physio's office, then you guys would be much more informed ahead of doing the actual therapy or intervention that you're about to do. And so I'm going to take this specific example exercise here of the squat. And so you guys can appreciate just how it's helping that herniated disc heal down here in the lower back if you've got one of these. Typically speaking, they're going to be L5S1 or L4-5. L4-5 is going to be L4, L5, the two greens here, and L5S1 is going to be this section here. And so how your rehabilitation works in the first instance when you're learning your exercises, you've got a raging herniated disc, maybe you've got sciatica down the leg, maybe you've just got lower back pain, is that it's going to teach you how to move in a way that controls the spine. And so in many cases, in the early days of that recovery process with that lower back injury, by learning how to squat, you are literally practicing a movement that you are doing multiple times every single day, right? And it might sound scary, the idea of doing a squat. You know, it doesn't have to be in the gym over here, you know, using a heavy barbell. But understand that you are squatting every single day, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not. And the sooner you acknowledge that you are, the better you're going to be. Because you can either continue to get up and down out of chairs in all sorts of silly ways and bounce back and all that kind of stuff and struggle. Or you can start to make some improvement. And literally, in the cases where we have patients coming into the clinic and they struggle with getting out of the chair, just teaching them the technique of how to get out of the chair means that something that hurt doesn't hurt, and it takes this much time, basically nothing, for that change to take place. We haven't healed them in that instance at all, of course not, right? But we've taught them how to move in a way that stops aggravating the injury down here. They've started on the path of learning spinal control. So when we're performing an exercise like a squat, in the early instances, yes, we might struggle to do it. Yes, we might create a little bit of aggravation because we're not very good. But the early benefit to your recovery, that's that sandwich truck again, just on cue. The early benefits to your recovery in the lower back are that you start to learn how to control your spine in the real world. That means that the daily aggravations of your sciatica, of that herniated disc, are happening less and less frequently because you're starting to be more effective from the very first go at performing this movement, the squatting movement.